All right, here we are. Here we are, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, this is one of them Fridays, huh? Yeah, okay. So let me go ahead and make sure that we are. All right. I want y'all to be able to see the stuff in the back. But anyway, we're going to talk about, let those notifications go out, and we are going to discuss a bit more. God prepares us. Okay, and it's important to really understand why he does what he does, when he does. Everything is on God's time. And so, for example, there's going to be certain things uh, in this reality, in God's reality, that he's going to obtain for something he's working on, right? Okay, so as he is doing all that he's doing, right, as he continues to shape and mold us, okay, into the best version of ourselves that he intended for us to be. We have to learn that patience, right? Okay. And so then we got to remember that God prepares us. And I remember a while back sharing with you all on one of the early business trips. Yeah. Uh, Very early on. I want to say that it was my second one. And I remember God saying, yeah, he says, I'm introducing you to your new life with me. And that was beautiful, because that's what he does with his chosen one while he prepares us. Okay, so let those notifications go out. And while that's going on, we're going to talk about that, because it's really important to understand that nothing God does is right. He's not going to harm us. Remember Jeremiah 29:11. He said he knows the plans for us to prosper us and not harm us. And so, right, and he knew, yeah, he did. He knew what was going to happen. Yes, hello, everyone. Come on, yeah, join us for this wonderful, wonderful topic, because a lot of times we can get caught up, in things, in our own thoughts, for that matter. Our thoughts are not God's thoughts. Okay, so if you're new, welcome. Okay, I am Michelle Dickey, master consultant, coach, trauma specialist, minister, and author. That's right. Helping survivors of traumatization from narcissist abuse overcome trauma triggers, life obstacle, unpack that bag of talent and gifts that God put on the inside, and more. Here at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, CHA, we are a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. So, welcome. And you have a voice in this growing community now. Yet all of you chosen one, you have a voice here at Consulting for Heightened Awareness in our growing community. Because for far too long, we were told, shh, right, by the evildoers when we tried to speak. And never forget, they do that because they want us to feel insignificant like them. God says, I'm not my chosen ones. We're not supposed to be like that. Not supposed to be like that. God said, I got my chosen ones out of that. Said, I got my chosen ones out of that narcissistic matrix to push them into their purpose. All of God's chosen ones have a purpose. See, the enemy knows this. And I will share with y'all something. Okay? I didn't tell nobody nothing about what we were doing yesterday. I didn't say anything. And that's what it looked like to move in silence, because God's preparing us, you see? And he told me today what that was. An introduction to. Remember how I was telling you before, when I was on previous business trips, that the second one, it just, the Spirit of the Lord spoke, and he said, I'm introducing you to your new life with me. Now, mind you, it was a hotel room. And so it was during that business trip that I heard the Lord say, it's like, all right, when I get back to the house, I need to go down to that garage. And I need to consolidate. That was God preparing me for small space living. I want y'all to understand. Because God says, I need some of y'all to take a look at the small detail. Remember, small details tell a big story. And that was a very small detail. When I get back, is to go through, right, and start consolidating. Like downsizing. Not just in preparation for smaller space living, but so that my move, my moving from there would go a lot smoother, because I wouldn't have as much to offload and have to reload. Because see, remember, I had to go into the physical and get confirmation with that Jezebel case study. So it was set up to where I was supposed to, right, stay there for a short time while I figured out where I was going to live and stuff like that. But on my way down there, God kept screaming the name of a city in my subconscious over and over and over. I know why now. Because we're just outside of that city today. Because God knew I was not going to stay down south in Florida like that. He said no. He had my escape route already planned, you see. For those who haven't heard that, this is all how God is a preparer. Okay? Because he will prepare us. Okay? He prepares us for everything. Our entire lives. He has us acquire skill sets. He has us learn the things we learn. He has us gather, right, a bunch of, just items sometimes. Okay, because when I first started doing content creation, all I did was picked up the phone. I had one phone at the time. I hadn't gotten a business phone yet because I was still working at the toxic workplace. But when I got started, and it was on my spirit, it said, just get up, hit that start button. Because God had mentally prepared me to do that. Pulled over on the side of the road, little side bank there, and boom, did the very first video. Now, of course, we've had to do some how-tos and learn, and that's the other thing. God prepared us even further. He continues to do so. He continues to do so. To prepare us for things that he has put in place in the future. Remember, God has plans for us. He already has everything planned out. It's already done. We're just making our way to the finish line. Because that finish line is already here for many of us for a particular season. Remember, every season is going to come with a new finish line. That's what keeps us motivated too. It's just knowing that every season comes with a new finish line. Let's put that in the comment below. New finish line. That's right. Because we got to keep on keeping on. That's why God says every season comes with a brand new finish line. It's that goal that we're reaching. We set a goal and we reach that goal. All right, set another goal. That's your finish line. But God said, yeah, I'm preparing you. So yesterday, I went on a trip to a place that I knew had an item that I had on my wish list for some time. And it fit the healthier lifestyle. For those of you who don't know what it is, you can look it up. Okay? But fonduing is a great way for grazing. Okay? And it's also a great way to combat that radio frequency for healthier living. Okay? That's right. It's a great way. There you go. Every season with the new finish line. Thank you. That's right. So, combating radio frequency for healthier living, fonduing is a really great way to do that, because you won't be sitting there with a full big plate and feel obligated to have to finish it all, right? Yeah, we unlearned that. Because fonduing, you can only put so many pieces in at one time. And so you're you're munching. So let's say you have chicken and shrimp in there, and the shrimp is done first. The chicken takes a couple more minutes. So you can sit there and pull the shrimp out, let it cool off for a few seconds or what have you, and you can eat it while you're waiting on something else to finish cooking in there. And now in our case, we could work in between, because we often do that. But whoever needs that tip, there you go. All right, as part of the healthier living. Yeah. Okay. Is that if you are working on something, you can take small bites in between while you're working, because I do that often. Okay, because it takes the burden off of your digestive system. Okay, absolutely. Well, yeah, food on a stick. There you. That's a good way to put it. Okay, but right. Okay, okay. Right, you could put cheese in there, and right. Yeah, you could do cheese, but I basically right, canola oil is common also because it's a high heat oil. And so any kind of high heat oil, vegetable oil might work too. I'm sure it does. But canola oil is well known for its high heat cooking. So that's that, okay? And so we were running on an errand to get that. And it happened to be in a different, let's just say it was a decent drive. And it was a nice advertising day. You see, remember, my car has magnets on it that are close to us on my business card. And so God said, yeah, that you got to plant some seed. You never know. Sitting in this parking lot week after week after week is not doing this ministry any good. Right? Okay, so we got to get out and about every once in a while. And so I thought I was going to come back here for lunch. God said, nope. He said, there's a place you can eat right around the corner. Yep. All the items that I was able to pick to put in that bowl, if you will, were blood type diet approved. So he kept telling me, he's like, yeah, no, he said, you're going to eat lunch there. He said, I'm going to show you something. And that's what he was showing me, was that there's places out here that I would be able to eat at, because I was thinking in my mind, like the same old, same old. He said, no. He said, there's going to be new places that you've not eaten at that you'd be able to, because they will carry, they will serve your blood type diet friendly stuff. All right, so that's that. And he said, yeah, that's just an introduction. I said, okay, all right. But nobody knew. That was between me and God. He knew what we were going to do yesterday. Of course. He's the one that told me when to do it. God is the one who does that. And that's all part of his preparation for. And he doubles up. I want y'all to understand that. God will double up to get the ball rolling. Once he has introduced you to something, and then he tells you what that is. Okay, he'll tell you what it is. And then he'll double it up to get the ball rolling. Same thing with our detox process. Same thing with our, changing our lifestyle. God has a good thing ahead of time. So, in preparation for. For example, I wasn't taking a magnesium supplement when I got the bottle. God told me to go ahead and get it because he knew the time that I would be ready to start taking it. Because that is what started the ball rolling with a lot of air pockets getting released during the detox. Because remember, for those of you who have not heard this yet, it's real simple. Okay, because of the radio frequency and the salt and metal molecule. Right, get a bunch of air pockets inside that body. And then, exactly, right? So you got air pockets that will find their way in the joints, fatty tissue. You have whatever, everywhere in the body. Muscle. Oh, yeah. And whenever a salt molecule finds its way via mucus, finds its way to one of those spots, the air pocket, in fatty tissue and places of past injury, it's going to hang out there for a time. And as the body's internal heat gets hot, that molecule expands. When it expands, it pushes up against that air pocket. And that's what causes the pain. So, yes, that was a God revelation. Very, very simple. Yeah, see, that complicated world out there don't want people to know that. Because when you know that, you go homeopathic. And you know, maybe a little more magnesium to help relax those muscles, get rid of those air pockets. So that's what God revealed to me today, too, is that sodium is, in excess is the stiffener. Now, magnesium is the salt that does the relaxing. So if you've got too much sodium, your body's real tense and stiff all the time, well, that means that you're not doing so well with magnesium. So you're going to need a little extra magnesium. You could do your research. Okay, do your research. But I was taking, one of them was a magnesium oxide, about 400 milligrams. Okay, yeah. And that just got the ball rolling. Okay, to help the muscles relax enough to get rid of those air pockets. Because once those air pockets are gone, your circulation starts to improve and your body can get rid of the excess toxin. Okay, because that's what that is, the excess salt. The enemy doesn't want people to do that. It's real simple. And it's temporary too. You'll know when your body starts to balance back out. You'll feel it. And you won't need that extra supplement anymore. Especially if you are eating more fruits and plant-based, like nuts, okay, pumpkin seed, walnuts, okay, that kind of stuff. If you're eating more of that, raisins, grapes, fruits, and then leafy green, spinach, kale, things like that. If you're getting a diet rich in that stuff, you'll know once your body balances out, you won't need that extra supplement anymore because your body will be utilizing everything in the food. But when you're detoxing and your normal functions are altered a little bit, your body's not going to get everything from the food that it needs right away. So it needs a little external help for a season, but it's not forever. Oh, glory be to God that it's not forever. Okay? And those air pockets can be quite painful, so anything that will help relieve or prevent. Yeah, magnesium. That's just one. And then also arnica. 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 There's a cream and there's pellet available. There's a homeopathic pain relieving remedies. And yes, I've got a nice jar of arnica cream. Absolutely. And not because of anything real painful, but it also used to help heal bruises. Yep, got me an ice cube. But yeah, there you go, arnica. Yeah, you should be able to find the homeopathic stuff. If you've got an all-natural food store somewhere nearby that you can make it to, I highly encourage you to go. The people that work there, like the one that I found here locally, they know their stuff. They do. They know their stuff. And it's wonderful because when I went in there and I told the lady what I was looking for, she knew exactly where to send me. Yeah. So, yeah. And then there was another lady the second time I went, and I was looking for a different type of magnesium, and she knew exactly what I was talking about. I was like, okay. And so she pointed me in the right direction, and voila. So, yeah, they'll know their stuff, because a lot of them, well, yeah, a lot of them who work in these places are also living a homeopathic lifestyle. Because it's the same lady that when I mentioned briefly what happened, she's the one that reminded me about cayenne pepper, good for circulation. Okay, I know it can be a bit hot, so a little bit at a time. It doesn't take much. But see, God prepares us that way. So he has us get things sometimes ahead of time, so that we're ready for. It's all about God getting us ready. So as he's doing the healing and the restoration, okay, of things, the increasing of nutrients, he's preparing us. Another great example, the handheld microphone that I've got there. Right, he has me get that to practice with in preparation for. That's right. So I want y'all to take a look at the things that you have acquired. And then take a look at your list. Okay, as you're unpacking that bag of talent and gift, take a look at that list. And then look at what you have already in front of you, because I guarantee you, because God is the only guarantee, I'm telling you that there's at least 3 things. You've identified a crossover, right, between a talent and a gift, and how they fit like hand in glove, right? Okay, that's what you got to identify. And then you should have a column where it says new things to learn for that. Right? Okay, so take a look at all the things that you have. Think about that crossover between that talent and gift. And then think about, okay, what it is. And then think about the things that would go with that. Things that would get you started with that. Aside from learning new things. What you already have on hand. It's right in front of you. I guarantee it. Or it might be in a tote somewhere, but you get my drift. Or a drawer. Something that you haven't thought of in quite some time. You have it already. Yes. Okay, you have the stuff to get started already. God does this in amazing ways to get us ready. All through that preparation as God prepares us, and then he doubles things up when he introduces us to the next thing. He says, I'm gearing you back out there. Right? So he says, gearing me up. You know how God says, okay, that we are going to be sent back out as sheep in the midst of wolves, right? These narcissists out here. He said, we're going to be sent back out. He's going to do what he's going to do. And he said, you're already familiar with the process, Michelle, because you've already done it once. But this time is the level up. Because I won't have, right, there's not going to be any Jezebels. We do not, we are no contact. And we will no longer ever allow ourselves to be in a particular place with a Jezebel who can try. We won't give them that opportunity ever again. Because God said that's it. I have enough Jezebel case studies that I don't need another one. So if y'all do hear anything in the background, that is a fan that is going, okay, in the bathroom. Typically, I would try to remember to turn it off, but I know y'all can hear me just fine because, right, I mean, I can hear it. We won't give them that opportunity ever again. Because God said that. Okay. I was just checking to see. It's very slight. Okay, good. That's good news. But yeah, when God does the preparing, he's getting us ready. So we get excited again. Because you know that when God is getting us ready for the next season, you know what's coming. You know that it's full of righteousness. And you know that God says, okay. He said he had to get some air pockets out of a certain area of my body first in preparation for what he introduced me to yesterday. Yep. So, okay, arnica is a genus of perennial plants, right, in the sunflower family. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I didn't know that much about it. All I know is that the cream works. All I know is that the cream works. But thank you for that. Okay, for anybody who's wondering, there's your lesson about what arnica is. Plant derived, of course. And so, when God continues to prepare us, okay, we got, it's all about that letting go and letting God. Because, man, I have to tell you, letting go and letting God. That's right. Letting go and letting God. So I get it. I get it. I get it. So God's preparing us. And when he does, we let him. That's it. Bottom line. And so, we're fully aware that there's going to be some people who only have about a half hour to stay with us, and that's fine. And then there's also, remember, I know the Jezebel case study peaked because she nosy. She knows that she wants to see. Are we back to our, oh yeah. Absolutely. Because the God Spirit in one of the other homeopathic people that I spoke with last week, God said, it's time to do some strengthening. He said, even though your strength is still there, believe me, I found that out when I did a car sauna. I had to close the door. I went, whoa. Yeah, it's still there. Now we got to use it. And so we are. And so we're back to that. Yeah. Listen, you all. Everything is seasonal, right? Remember, God's seasons are not the same as man's season. I also know that Wi-Fi can be funny sometimes for people. So, whatever the case may be. But I do know that because, right, narcissists out here, they can't help themselves. We know this. All right, they're gonna check in on whoever it is they're obsessed with to see if they are in any kind of pain and suffering. That's all. So, right, and we're not. But we do know that there are a ton of alternatives out here for detoxing and for, if you are experiencing some sort of pain, there's a lot of alternatives. And, glory be to God that we've got these homeopathic stores. I'm going to tell you, I'm so grateful. Yes, because I've been that way for years. For years. I've always had kind of a disdain, if you will, for a particular matrix. Also beginning with the letter P. And now I know why. Because never forget, you all, that that there is a symbol that is the symbol of death. That is the stake, right? Like a sword with a snake wrapped around it. That is the symbol of death. That is a big part of the demonic realm. Now, again, I'm not saying if you need intervention, just do your research, okay? If you do need some kind of intervention, by all means, go get what you need, but do your research. All right, because there are some good ones there too. Remember, God, cosmic balance, okay? And so, yeah, same thing with, with our routine, like dental stuff, eye stuff, right? We do our research. If we can't locate the good guy. Yeah, okay, they're out there. It does take a little bit of research. We have to look it up. We have to find, okay, we know a lot more about, the radio frequency poisoning and what it does to the body. And so as God continues to prepare us for the combat against radio frequency, he has us obtain certain things at certain times. You see, because God knows exactly when he is going to move. So he's going to have us move accordingly. But he's always ahead of us. Remember that. God is always ahead of us, as he should be. Although he's guiding our steps, but with his plan, it's always ahead of us. Okay? That's why we learn to slow down and be patient, so we no longer try to get ahead of him. Every time we try to get ahead of God, we mess things up. We have to admit that to ourselves. So remember that as well. That no matter what it is that he's got you working on right now, just know that, okay, that's in preparation for something. It always is. Know that. Remind yourself of that. However you need to do it. However you need to do it. Remind yourself of that. Okay? But I just wanted to get on here today. Okay? I don't know, like I said, about how long this is going to be, but I do, because we're coming to the wrap up here, because I I saw the clock. I want you all to, however you got to do it, journal it, remind yourself of that, because if you are doing something in a particular time, if you will, like I got this project, I want to get back to it, but God has me doing something else right now. That's in preparation for something else. Because one thing I learned about that one project that I really want to get back to for this YouTube channel is that I'll have to have it all done in one day. To do one at a time. Okay? And so there you go. That's what we're working on, and we're going to continue working on that behind the scenes. We've got more coming for you all. That's right. On the Patreon channel, at the Academy. Everything is to help you level up that trauma healing and spiritual growth. Yeah, with God's wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true techniques, and more. Always. While we're combating radio frequency for healthier living. So, just know, whenever God does that, be ready for a double up. That's what he's going to do. He has you working on something in preparation for an introduction to what he's going to have you be doing in the near future. Okay? And so, in preparation for that, he's going to have you double up on something for a season. Okay? Just know that. And keep it between you and God. Okay? Do not announce your moves. This is why I didn't tell y'all before I went yesterday what we were going to do yesterday. I didn't say anything, did I? No. But since yesterday has come and gone and it's already done, now I could share that with you to give you a bit of perspective of what I'm talking about, because that was another introduction too. And so God said, yeah, and then he doubles it up in the very beginning to get the ball rolling with that for a season, leading into what he already told you was even bigger. So it's like he's baby stepping us as he sends us back out as sheep in wolves with heightened awareness. See, that's another big difference, you all. When God does this each time, right? Yeah, when God does this each time, we go back out with more awareness. That heightened awareness. More and more and more. Remember, the spiritual shift upward. That's the only way it can go. It's up. Okay, just remember that. And, yeah. God does that. And he'll have you change things up on how you do things. He'll have you do new things. Like our backdrops. We finally learned some new things about that. And instead of utilizing everybody else's backdrop, we made our own. That's the other thing. Chosen one. Oh yeah, we are co-creators with our creator. So never forget that. All right, everyone, that wraps this one up for now. If you've got any questions, there again, and you catch this on the replay, I will get to those as soon as possible. I want y'all to keep going. Write it down. Remind yourself that whatever it is you are working on, that is God preparing you for something that he has already done. It's his plans. And it's going to prosper you. And remember something else too. Right. When you got that heightened awareness. God hastened on his time, right? So whereas the last season when he introduced me to doing things like that, right? Okay. And then he introduced me to my new life with him in a smaller space living, because my apartment is a studio apartment that used to be a hotel room. It was renovated and turned into a studio apartment. Small space living. God's preparation. Never forget that. And I understand why he had me do this first, but I was hoping that I was going to be getting a house. He said, no. Yeah, thank you, Holy Spirit. God said he has me here first because this is where he's revealing a lot of truths, and that there will be a lot of services I will not need to pay for when I get my house. That's part of God's preparation too, because we know God's spiritual truth, right? We know about dust to dust. We know, okay. And he's been teaching us about that and how we can just stay on top of that dust. And that is the best way to, and put you some traps down and you're good. That's it. That's it. We won't need to allow anyone to come in spraying a bunch of chemicals that only exacerbate, meaning make worse, a situation that is practically an illusion with animated salt molecules. Okay. All in an attempt by the enemy to instill fear. So, more about that on the Patreon channel. All right, everybody, keep on keeping on. But remind yourself that God is prepared. Say it. Say, okay, God is preparing me. Ask him what he's preparing you for, and he's going to tell you. But you better keep that between you and him. Move in silence. Take practice, but you can do it. All right, chosen one. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Until next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.